Hey everybody, these are the new Tekton mini pry bars, and they are stout. It almost seems to me like they're trying to bridge a gap between your standard pocket pry bars or pocket screwdrivers and the smaller end of a standard pry bar. Oddly enough, this is what I used to use as a pocket pry bar 15 years ago or so. I would just throw it in my back pocket and it would just bounce around. I would just have to remember to take it out before I got near a vehicle or a piece of equipment. But these things, they almost remind me of homemade pry bars that people used to make before they offered pocket pry bars, where they'd find a really stout screwdriver and just bend the tip to whatever they could, heat it up and do the best they can. I mean, if you look at their website also, they have a chart where they show it next to some well-known brands, Mac, Mayhew, I think Snap-on as well. But until you see them in person, you don't really get the full effect. You can get a full list of specs for these on their website, between the 5/32 and the 1/4 inch shaft, the 30 versus 50 degree bend, and whatever other lengths and dimensions you're looking for. But I wanted to compare them to some of the brands that you guys might own so you could see exactly what you're getting into. So let's compare the smaller ones first. I will say that this 3.6 inch handle, I can get a full grip on it. I wear small to medium sized gloves just depending on the brand, but I have no problem getting a full hand on it. When you compare that to, like, let's say one of these Matcos, there's no way. Pinky just always floats around there, but I mean, just look at how it dwarfs it. The shaft sizes are pretty similar. I will say it's a little bit larger on the Matco itself, but if you compare the larger one, the larger Tekton definitely wins. If we move on, here's a example of a Mac pocket screwdriver. There's a part number if you want it. And this one is totally different animal. Bends are pretty similar, but you can definitely tell a difference. Let me see if I can get that to focus. You can definitely tell the difference in the shaft design. A lot of people don't like the round shafts because it's hard to get a good purchase or a good roll on the fulcrum. But if you look at these, they grind them down past the bend to give you just a little bit more surface area when you're bending. Let's compare it back to the Matco again. Whereas the Matco ends right before the bend. As you can see there, the bend is pretty similar. There's less surface area here compared to here, obviously. Let's check the other one. Pretty similar there as well. Same deal. And you can see, let's take a look at the tip width a little bit. So the Tekton is a little bit thinner. So let's check out the larger ones. Here we go. Two different bends. Let's compare this to the Matco again. I'm comparing it to the Matco because I think these are the most similar. But we'll look at a few different ones here in just a minute. Bend is just slightly different. Again, you can see that grind that goes past the bend. Help you get a little bit of a flatter surface area when you're trying to bend or you're trying to pry on something. Let's check it out next to the Mayhew. I mean, boy, you can see the difference there. The bend seems to match the Mayhew the best, so I'm guessing this is 50 degree also, or close to. But you can see the shaft difference there. Again, square versus round shank. Let's go back to the smaller one. Let me grab the 50 degree. That is pretty close. This is the Mayhew. That's not bad. I think the tip widths are pretty close. You can see the size difference there in the handle. The shank is just so long on these Mayhews. I really like that, actually. For the one I use a lot, just able to get in deeper spots. Let's see here. So these are the Lyle. And the Lyle is going to be a little bit harder to compare just because they're so short in comparison here. Let's try this. So the Lyle has a 30 degree or close to. See if I can line those up. Yeah, it's pretty close. tip width, pretty close as well. So if you guys own the Lyle, pretty close to the thinner shaft as far as width. But again, there's the size difference there. This is the smaller of the two Lyle. Let's look at the larger one. You can see there, again, 30-degree bend on the Lyle. Here's a 30-degree bend on the larger Tekton. See if we can get closer on these tips here. Pretty good. Pretty good. Here's another smaller one. This is the PQY. They sell these in all kinds of different colors. I've only ever seen them on Amazon, but I'm sure they're bouncing around other places. Let's compare to those. It's definitely thinner than the Tekton. Another 30-degree bend version here. This is closer to the Mac. These are pretty close together here. Not what the video's about, but just in case you're wondering. Not bad at all. And here is your standard pocket screwdriver. Just a little bit of a size comparison. Visual learners and such. There you go. If you guys have any questions about any of these, just post it in the comments below, and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching.